I have used a lot of folding phones in my lifetime, and I think the OnePlus Open is my favorite one so far. Today I'm going to go through my final review of the OnePlus Open, gonna talk about 10 criteria. Each one will have a rank of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. After that, I'm going to tally up the score and give you the one final grade for this phone. But before jumping into that, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Right now they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month, and for a limited time only, you buy 3 months, you get 3 months free, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. So folding phones are kind of a funny topic. First of all, you have to decide whether or not you want a folding phone, and there are 2 main reasons why you would want a folding phone. One is if you want a tablet in your pocket, like the OnePlus Open, the Galaxy Z Fold 5, and the Pixel Fold. You get a regular size phone, you open it up, you get a tablet in your pocket. The other reason why you want to get a folding phone is you want to have something smaller. So you actually get a regular size phone, maybe a little bit bigger, and you fold it up. It is compact and easy to store away. And those are the 2 main reasons that I can see why people want to get a folding phone, or why they should get a folding phone. If you're going to get a folding phone and go through this extra work, there should be some reward for it. So I like the fact that you can use these folding phones as a regular phone once it's closed, and when you open it up, you get a tablet in your pocket. So that part makes sense. You get a bigger screen wherever you go. But flipping phone in general, I think they are kind of on the gimmicky side. Unless you have small pockets, small purses, and you really want a phone that's able to fold up and store away when you finish using it. If that is a big priority for you, then I think that makes sense. If you have regular size pocket, you don't care about being able to fold it in half. A lot of times with flipping phones, they are more inconvenient than it actually is, because you want to, for example, you want to launch a camera and you have to double tap it twice to launch the camera, and then all of a sudden you are getting a selfie camera mode versus just having something where you can point and shoot. So in order to do that, you have to open up the phone, so that's an extra step, and then launch the camera, then you can take a picture. So little things like that. And every time you use a flipping phone, you have to literally open it up. With the Galaxy Z Flip 5 and also the Motorola Razr Plus, you can do more on the outer screen, but in general, it is more practical to open up and use the inside screen like a normal phone. So that's just my take on flipping and folding phones in general, but since that is out of the way, now I'm going to talk about why I really like the OnePlus Open, because I prefer, if I'm going to get a folding phone, I prefer to have a tablet in my pocket, and I think OnePlus did a really great job with this particular folding phone. So the first category I'm going to go over is the cool factor and design. So this is the easy 5 out of 5 for me. You're obviously getting a phone in your pocket that folds into a tablet. That is really cool. It's a wow factor. And I actually found some practical uses for just having a tablet in my pocket. I didn't go out of my way to find it, but it's just very natural and happened in my regular life. I went to my eye doctor and I had my prescription from last year. I just simply opened up my tablet, showed it to him. He can read it just easily. You can also do this on any regular smartphone, but you have to zoom in and move it around. But just having a larger screen just makes that process a little bit easier, and he was very fascinated by that. And having a tablet in your pocket is also pretty cool if you wanted to show pictures to your friends and family. I recently just have a new baby, so they asked to see a picture of my kids. I open up Google Photos, open up my tablet, let them play around with it. They were very excited to see the bigger screen. It's very easy to view, and overall, just having a big phone in their pocket, it is actually really cool. And I like the fact that OnePlus Open made their folding phone lighter than the Galaxy Z Fold 5, lighter than the Pixel Fold. I'm just going to reference those 2 right now because those are the ones that's readily available in US and most of the world. I know Xiaomi and many other manufacturers, they managed to make their folding phone even lighter and cooler, but just in terms of availability, I think OnePlus did it better and is able to mass produce it around the world. And this phone is actually lighter than the iPhone 14 Pro Max by 1 gram, which is pretty impressive given the fact that you basically kind of have almost 2 phones is folded in half, but they still managed to make it lighter. And just having a lighter phone is just easier for one hand to use. When I was using the Pixel Fold, that phone is so heavy that my hand actually get really tired just using it for a couple minutes or so, and I feel obligated to open it up just to reduce some of the stress in one hand. And Galaxy Z Fold 5 is lighter than Pixel Fold, but the front screen is so thin and narrow. That's a lot. It's really hard to do a lot of the things that you would normally do, whether it's like playing games. Texting is okay, but if you want to watch YouTube, you get a really small, narrow screen, so it gets awkward. Or just using like Snapchat, the screen's just long, thin, and elongated, so it's very strange. Every time I use the Z Fold 5, I feel obligated to open up the phone every single time just because the front screen is not really practical to use, or it's just a little bit uncomfortable for me. I just don't like that aspect ratio. That is a personal preference. But with the OnePlus Open, you actually get a 6.3-inch display in the front. So it is kind of standard size these days, so it feels really comfortable to use, very easy to navigate with one hand. When I had the Z Fold 5, since it's so long and skinny, I had to tilt the phone a lot of times just to even reach the top to access the notification, access some random button in the top right hand corner. And with folding phones, since these phones are so heavy, every time you have to tilt and bend the phone, there's always risk you might drop the phone. And the Z Fold 5 is so slippery as well, so every time I do that, there's always a lot of risk. But cool factor, design, I like the way OnePlus Open really, I think they got their front screen down. And the thing about folding phone is you want a phone that's practical to use on the outside and the inside. Because the outside, it should be made so that's easier for one-handed use. It shouldn't be a phone where I have to open up my phone every single time. I don't always have two hands available at all the time. Being a new dad, I always gotta hold my baby, so sometimes I only have access to one hand. And with the OnePlus Open, when I use the outer screen, there's never a situation where I feel like I have to open it up in order to use normal everyday apps comfortably. I only need to do that when I actually want to. If I want to play a game, I'll open it up. If I want to watch YouTube, I'll open it up. Versus the Z Fold 5 is so long, skinny, and awkward that I had to automatically open it up to use it because it's not comfortable to use on the long, skinny screen. The Pixel Fold, it is a nice passport design, but I feel like the width is wide, so even texting it gets awkward. And the phone itself is just really heavy, so using it for a long period of time, it gets uncomfortable, so you are forced to open it a lot as well. What's something that I like about the OnePlus Open is they actually use a hole punch camera as a selfie camera. Compared to the Z Fold 5, they use the under display camera, which is not as good. I mean, OnePlus camera is not that good in general, but I'd rather have the better camera inside versus trying to mask it and hide it underneath the screen and have the inferior camera. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on just the cool factor design, but this main section is basically a lot of the things that the OnePlus does really well compared to the Pixel Fold and the Galaxy Z Fold 5 in my opinion. Design-wise, they did a really good job with the crease. Every time I use the OnePlus Open, I almost never noticed the crease at all. It's still there. They didn't get rid of it 100% of the way, but I feel like they are at least 80 to 90% of the way there just in terms of getting rid of the crease. Versus the Z Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold, I would say they're more like 50 to 60% of the way there is noticeable. I do see it when I watch YouTube if it's a lighter screen, and at different angles I do notice it more on the Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold. Versus the OnePlus Open, they've done a really good job with that. So overall, perfect 5 out of 5 score for cool factor, design, and just normal, practical, everyday use. Next on the list is battery. This is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. But just in general, this is probably like the best battery life that I have had on any Android phones that I've used. I've used all the Galaxy S3 Ultra and all those fancy phones out there. All the Pixel 8. Basically, I've used many Android phones, and I think the OnePlus Open does a really good job of battery life. Just under light to moderate usage, I'm always hovering over 24 hours, whether it's 28 hours or 26 hours, but at least manage to get to a full day and a little bit more. And under every usage is slightly different. That range anywhere from 10 to 19 hours, depending on what you're doing. The only reason why I knock off half a point is the iPhone 15 Pro Max to have a better battery life in general for smartphones. When I had the iPhone 15 Pro Max, I was actually averaging a day and a half, but the OnePlus Open, it is still averaging a day, which is really good compared to most of the other Android phones I've used. Galaxy S23, I get, 12 to 15 hours on average. Galaxy S23 Ultra, I get 15 to 17 hours. But with the OnePlus Open, I get comfortably 24 hours, which is really nice. But it does have 67 watt fast charging as well, which is faster than all the other flagship phones in the US today that is available. Or I guess the OnePlus 10T have like 120 watt fast charging, but not counting the same company. this comes in handy as well. You can fully charge the phone in at about 35 to 50 minutes, depending on where you charge it, whether it's 1%, 8%. So it's still a little bit long by OnePlus standard, but it is still faster than Z Fold 5, Pixel Fold. Those are closer to an hour and a half to fully charge. So with a phone that can last you a full day and you have 67-watt fast charging included in the box, I think OnePlus definitely crushed it in terms of battery life. If it was just Android alone, it would have been easy 5 out of 5, but I just knock off half a point because iPhone 15 Pro Max still hold the crown there. Customization and feature is next. This is a 4.5 out of 5 for me as well. I mean, it's a folding phone. I like that it bends. You can use it in tent mode. You can prop it up. There's plenty of camera features. Although the camera of this phone is not really good compared to Pixel and Z Fold 5. But the one benefit of having an Android phone is you can always sideload other apps. I just did a quick Google search, Gcam APK. I downloaded the Google Camera app using the OnePlus Fold. Currently recording this video using the OnePlus Open and utilizing the Gcam app. So video quality can be pretty good. This is all personal preference, but folding phones are not really known for their cameras, even though the Z Fold 5 and Pixel Fold is still decent. But their flagship phone, the Pixel 8 Pro, the Galaxy S23 Ultra, those are the best phones for cameras. And same thing for OnePlus, it's not the best camera. But overall, it does the job. As an Android phone, you can customize it to your heart's content. Plenty of features out there as well. The only reason why I deducted half a point is it's missing a desktop mode compared to Samsung. Samsung have a DeX where you can use it on a computer. You can use all the apps on your computers, texting, mirror, everything as well. It is just super useful if you have a desk job. You don't want to use your phone every single time. You can just connect DeX to your computer wirelessly or with a cable. I actually find that to be really fun to use, and unfortunately OnePlus left that off their open. Camera is next. I give it a 4 out of 5. I guess I am a little generous here due to the fact that I can sideload the Gcam. But the OnePlus camera alone, if I were to rate them for video and photos, I'll probably give them a 3. But just because of the fact that I can use another app just to boost the video quality, I know photos not going to be that great, but it's still fine. It's not terrible or anything. In general, they do look plain for me. I still prefer Pixels, iPhone, Galaxies, but it does the job, and Gcam fixes the video issue for me. So there's my take on the camera. Performance is an easy 5 out of 5. You get a super fast Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, never any overheating. Even when I use Pixel Fold, Galaxy Z Fold, those phones do tend to get hot. If you game a lot, you have Google Maps running a lot. But with the OnePlus Open, I've never really experienced any overheating issue. And just using a phone is fast, it's smooth. I can switch between games just fine. I still have some PTSD when I use the Pixel 8 when I play Pokemon trading card game. I switch over to Snapchat, I switch back to my game, the game will restart. But now with the OnePlus Open, it has 16 gigs of RAM, so memory management is fine. I don't have any issue jumping between apps. So easy 5 out of 5. OnePlus has always been known for their lower price tag and having really fast performance for the price. Screen, it is a 4 out of 5 for me. Although you do get a bigger screen than the Z Fold 5, it is 7.8 inches compared to 7.6. when the phone is open, and on the outside it is 6.3 compared to 6.2. So you do get a bigger screen, but with Galaxy I find that their phone are brighter and more colorful, and I did notice that right away on day one of me using the OnePlus Open. I had to crank up the brightness so I can get almost a similar experience. Next on the list is updates. It is a 4 out of 5 for me. You get 4 years of software update and 5 years of security updates. That is the same as the Galaxy Z Fold 5. But Apple still offer better updates. The Pixel 8 still offer better update at 7 years. But this is pretty much standard over the last few years for high-end flagship phones. So I just gave it a generous 4 out of 5 there. Ecosystem, 5 out of 5 as well. This is all personal preference, whether you're like Android or Apple. They both got their quirks. Android got a billion apps. Apple has a lot of apps as well. You can argue Apple generally tend to get newer apps first. They're more optimized. You get the blue bubble things, but Apple is finally adopting RCS next year. I mean, you're still going to get green bubbles with Android, but at least you get higher quality messaging videos and all that, safer messaging, everything is encrypted. So good things are coming next year in terms of RCS, or you can just convince your iPhone friends to use Snapchat or WhatsApp as an alternative chatting system. But other than that, I think both ecosystems are great. It's just a personal preference. The last criteria is value. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. It's hard for me to say that OnePlus Open is a good value due to the fact that it costs almost $2,000, but it's actually at $1,700. But I guess after taxes and everything, it does bump it up another 100 or 2 depending on where you live. But at the end of the day, the price is lower than the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the price is lower than the Pixel Fold. Both of those phones start at $1,800, and I would argue you get less with those phones. With the OnePlus Open, when you first get the box, you get a bigger box, you get a bumper case, you get a charging brick, you get a faster charging with the charging brick, 67 watt compared to basically half of what Pixel is giving you guys, and also the Z Fold as well. And just the phone itself, you get, I would argue, you have the better outside screen experience, you get a better battery, there's no crease, and it's actually lighter. I think having a light folding phone is huge, and this probably makes the biggest difference for me just in terms of owning a folding phone this big and heavy. It's nice to be able to use it with one hand. Of course, Xiaomi phone, their fold is much lighter, and I hope next year that Pixel and Samsung can manage to shave off more weight. Alrighty, so just in terms of the final score, you are looking at a 40 out of 45, so 89% solid B plus overall. Still my favorite folding phone yet. I still think $1,700 price range is high. If they can find a way to push it to $1,000 over the next few years, that would be more practical. But for now, it is a solid step in the right direction, and I think OnePlus did a lot of things well. And just in general, anytime you get a new cell phone, I think the 3 most important things is the phone fast? OnePlus Open is fast. Does it have a good camera? It has an okay camera, but if you sideload the Gcam, I would argue it's pretty good for video recording. Is the battery life good? Battery life is awesome on this phone, so I think OnePlus Open knocked it out of the park. 2.5 out of those 3 categories. So I think overall, OnePlus Open is my favorite folding phone yet. Alright guys, let me know what your thoughts are on the OnePlus Open or any other folding phones I've used in the past. Let me know you prefer the Pixel Fold, the Galaxy Z Fold, or any other folding phones. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Please check out my day in the life reviews if you haven't already. And see you guys in the next video.